literally flooded with art this week as Art Basel and the hundreds of events and satellite fairs surrounding it open up over town.
In the seedy underbelly of society, a world thrives on imitation and deceit, the realm of counterfeit currency. Among the specter of unscrupulous characters and shady transactions, one man dared to reach heights never seen before. Meet Arthur Williams II, the quintessential embodiment of a paradox. A man with immense talent and creativity, yet he used his gifts not to construct, but to deceive. Born into hardship, Arthur sought solace and survival in a life of crime. Little did he know, his destiny would lead him to become one of the greatest counterfeiters the world has ever seen. A tale of ambition, adventure, deceit, and redemption. This is Arthur's story. Let us delve into the depths of Arthur's journey, where each decision shaped a path of thrilling audacity and shocking downfall. Born into hardship, Arthur Williams II was no stranger to the harsh realities of life. His childhood years were filled with struggles, witnessing his family scrape by, making him mature faster than most children his age. His foray into a life of crime wasn't a sudden fall from grace, but rather it was a desperate answer to the question, how does one survive in a world that offers them no advantage? As a young boy, Arthur didn't dream of becoming America's greatest counterfeiter. He dreamed of a life free from financial struggles. But as fate would have it, his path took an unexpected turn when he crossed paths with a man named Da Vinci. Da Vinci was a name whispered with both respect and fear in the criminal underworld. A master counterfeiter, he held the secrets to creating money from nothing, a dangerous and tempting skill. This mysterious figure saw potential in the ambitious and intelligent Arthur, and it wasn't long before he took the man under his wing, introducing him to the dark art of counterfeiting. It was in these early years, under Da Vinci's stern tutelage, that Arthur's destiny began to be shaped. His future was not yet set in stone, but the foundation of his tumultuous journey into a world of crime, greed, and eventually redemption had been laid. This was the beginning of Arthur's fall, a dive into the underworld where the stakes were as high as the potential rewards. As the days rolled into months, the bond between the unlikely pair solidified. The dingy basements they met in were transformed into classrooms where the art of forgery was not merely taught, but revered. Arthur, the disciple, found himself marveled at Da Vinci's expertise. A seasoned counterfeiter, Da Vinci's reputation ran across the seedy underbelly of Chicago's criminal world. Arthur couldn't help but idolize him. He craved the respect Da Vinci commanded and the lifestyle his craft provided. Da Vinci noticed the spark in Arthur, and he made it his mission to transform it into a flame. In time, Arthur mastered the meticulous art of forgery. His finesse at emulating the finest details of dollar bills would have made Da Vinci proud. But an unforeseen occurrence shook their operation to its core. Da Vinci vanished. No trace, no goodbye, leaving Arthur alone in a treacherous world. Yet it was the resilience and resolve in Arthur that turned this abandonment into an opportunity. The student was ready to step out of the master's shadow. He picked up Da Vinci's mantle, becoming the torchbearer of a legacy that would transform him into the greatest counterfeiter the world had ever seen. Riding the high tide of his training with Da Vinci, Arthur Williams II began his ascent into the world of counterfeiting. His talents, once under the tutelage of his mentor, now shone through in a solo operation. This newfound independence was met with increased success, turning Arthur into a highly efficient master of forgery. Each note he printed was so meticulously crafted, it was virtually indistinguishable from a legitimate bill. This artistry was not just about money, it was a lavish and intoxicating lifestyle that came with it. In the midst of this extravagance, Arthur met Natalie, a woman who soon became his partner in both life and crime. Together, they wove an intricate web of deceit, their lives filled with luxury purchased with counterfeit money. They reveled in this extravagant lifestyle, seemingly untouched by the illegality of their actions. Life was opulent, and the money flowed like a river in flood. However, a river in spate also brings with it destruction, a fact Arthur was soon to learn. Following a brief period of retirement, a life of normalcy and calm proved too mundane for Arthur. He found himself drawn back into the labyrinth of counterfeiting, the thrill of printing money too enticing to resist. Yet every action has consequences, and Arthur was about to learn what it means to pay the price of greed. His story is a stark reminder that life at the edge, no matter how glamorous it seems, carries a dangerous precipice with it. It was only a matter of time before Arthur found himself peering over the edge. As Arthur's counterfeit operation gained momentum, it drew the attention of not just the local lowlife, but of established criminal organizations. With an uncanny ability to recreate the highest denomination bills with an almost undetectable difference, he quickly became a valuable asset to these entities. Working with gangs and dangerous Russian criminals, he plunged into a world that was darker than anything he'd ever known. Despite his deep involvement, Arthur displayed a masterful aptitude for maintaining a low profile. His ties with these organizations were shrouded in secrecy, his identity hidden behind layers of inscrutable subterfuge. His alliances were known only to a few high-ranking members of these criminal circles, ensuring his operation remained covert and protected. The man who had mastered the art of counterfeiting money now showed equal finesse in evading the glaring spotlight of law enforcement. However, even the most carefully laid plans can go awry. Arthur's near invincibility was tested during a robbery gone wrong. An intended quick cash grab spiraled into a precarious situation, bringing him face to face with death. Narrowly escaping the jaws of mortality, the incident served as a jarring reminder of the life-threatening risks that come with his line of work. Yet, undeterred, he plunged further into the dark abyss of crime, unaware that the net around him was tightening. In the world of counterfeiting, the stakes are always rising. The release of the new $100 bill was one such instance. The bill was laced with advanced security features, a 3D security ribbon, a color-shifting bell, and other intricate details meant to make counterfeiting an insurmountable task. For Arthur, however, this was just another challenge to overcome. The quest for the perfect counterfeit bill started with finding the right paper, the very canvas of his deceptive masterpiece. The right texture, the right thickness, it all mattered. Arthur's resourcefulness led him to an unlikely source, a phone book. The paper had a similar weight and feel, an uncanny substitute. But the paper was just the beginning. The ink was the lifeline, bringing the dead paper to life with its vibrant hues. Arthur faced the formidable challenge of procuring an ink that would mimic the color-changing properties of the legitimate bills. After a series of trials and errors, he discovered a blend of inks that produced a passable color shift. With each hurdle surmounted, Arthur kept proving that his skill was truly unparalleled. But with each success, he was also drawing one step closer to his inevitable downfall. Arthur had developed an operation that was a masterclass in counterfeiting, a symphony of high-quality printing orchestrated in a basement. His days were filled with a meticulously careful process of creating counterfeit bills as he focused on emulating every last detail. His craftsman's eye paid particular attention to the texture of the paper, the precision of the ink, and the placement of the watermark. For Arthur, counterfeiting had transcended the realm of crime and had become a form of art. Meanwhile, Arthur's reputation was rapidly expanding beyond the confines of the underworld. His counterfeit bills were of such high quality that they had begun to flood the market, inevitably attracting the attention of the authorities. The FBI had been on his tail for some time, but Arthur's careful operation and low profile made it difficult to trace the phony bills back to him. The cat-and-mouse game had begun, with the FBI putting Arthur on the radar, bringing an impending sense of danger. This was Arthur at his zenith as a counterfeiter, creating a symphony of counterfeit money while playing a dangerous tune with the law. Little did he know, the crescendo was about to break. The high life Arthur had once enjoyed came to a halt when an unexpected betrayal emerged from within his family. His father and stepmother turned him in to the authorities. The game of cat and mouse was over, and Arthur found himself standing defenseless in court. With irrefutable evidence stacked against him, a guilty verdict was quickly reached, and Arthur was sentenced to a long term in federal prison. The cost was not just his liberty. During his incarceration, a blow more devastating than prison bars hit him. His father passed away. The law swayed heavily on Arthur, adding emotional suffering to his imprisonment. The mastermind who once ruled an empire of counterfeit was now left in solitude to grapple with the weight of his actions and the price of his greed. After being released from prison, Arthur Williams II emerged a changed man, determined to turn a new leaf and make amends for his past. At the heart of this transformation was a crucial factor: his son, Arthur III. His relationship with Arthur III offered him the chance for redemption, and he tried to mold his life back into legitimacy for the sake of his son's future. Yet Arthur's past was not so easily left behind. His previous actions influenced Arthur III, who, fascinated by the tales of his father's old world, was lured into the shadows of counterfeiting himself. Like a macabre echo of the past, Arthur III's involvement in counterfeiting surfaced, leading to Arthur's second arrest. It was an excruciating repetition of history, a heartbreaking blow to Arthur's attempts to change his life's narrative. Inside prison, Arthur and his son shared stories, regrets, and dreams for a different future. For the first time in years, Arthur felt the stirring of a new hope within him. This time, instead of paper and ink, it was the indelible ink of experience and regret. Upon his second release, Arthur traded the illicit press for a painter's canvas. He committed himself to art, a lawful mirror of his former trade. Every stroke was a testament to his transformation, a redemption painted in bold colors and heartfelt reflections. Looking back on his past, Arthur contemplated his life, his choices, and their consequences. From a young criminal to the greatest forger to a convicted felon, his path was etched with the cost of his greed. In the end, Arthur's story serves as a stark reminder of the price of avarice, a price paid not just in years behind bars, but in broken relationships, lost time, and a legacy tarnished by counterfeit deeds. His tale echoes the truth that one's actions, driven by unchecked greed, can lead to devastating consequences.